These are the safety practices that I have been using whenever I travel alone. Tip number one, start every day with a picture. So you have to be very intentional with this picture. So what you do is you take a picture of yourself, a full body picture, and you're doing this because you want your loved ones to know what you have on when you start your day. You're going to send that picture to someone that you trust, and that person is not on the trip with you. And the reason for this isn't to instill fear, it is just to be safe, because on the very slight chance that something were to happen to you, you need your loved ones to be able to tell the authorities, to give them a good description of what you have on. This takes less than 10 seconds and it adds a layer of protection. Tip number 2, please do not wear headphones or AirPods or anything on your ears as you're walking throughout the city. I know it's very popular and people do it all the time, but it's really not safe. It absolutely is not a safe thing to do. Number one, you're in a foreign place and you don't know anybody. If you're in a place where you don't speak the language, you just want to be aware. You need to be able to hear things going on around you. You need to be able to tell if there are footsteps that are a little bit too close to you. You can't hear that if you have something in your ear. When you're sitting in a restaurant or a cafe or wherever, you walk into a store, then you can put your AirPods on or put your headphones on. But please do not walk around the city streets with those on. Once you get into the metro, this is what I do. If I really want to listen to something, once I get into the metro or on the bus, if I'm on public transportation, then I'll put them on, but certainly not when you are walking around on the street. Awareness is one of your strongest safety tools. And when you have on headphones, it takes that away. Tip number 3, I want you to plan your arrival strategically. You need to plan it with safety in mind. What I normally do, if I know I'm going to be arriving at night, I will arrange with my hotel or with my Airbnb to have someone pick me up from the airport. Some hotels have shuttles. If not, they can either give you recommendations on a driver, or you can find a website where they have drivers that you can hire to pick you up from the airport. The last thing you want to do is when you get into a new destination is then get off the plane and standing outside trying to figure out how you're going to get to your destination. You don't want to do that. It doesn't really matter how long the flight is. You're going to be tired, a little bit disoriented. You're going to have your bags. You don't want to have to try to figure all that out. So have your driver or your transportation to wherever you're going settled before you get to your destination. Knowing exactly how you're getting from the airport to your destination, it minimizes any risk. Tip number 4, do not post your location in real time. I cannot stress this enough. It amazes me still to this day how so many people will post exactly where they are in the exact time that they are there. This is very dangerous. Do not do this. What I normally do is when I am traveling, a lot of times I won't even share my pictures or anything until days into a trip. I have one girlfriend, when she travels, she doesn't post anything about the trip until she gets back. Social media does not need to know where you are in real time. In contrast, your loved ones should know where you are in real time. So you make sure that you have your location on because you want them to be able to track you. And if it is too difficult for you to not share your location or to share everything that's going on your trip while you're on your trip, then at the very least, please don't talk about the place where you are until you have left. Now, I started talking about tip number 5 before I got to it because it was part of tip 4, but tip 5 is actually share your location or check in regularly. When I'm traveling, I send my friends and my mom, I let them know where I am. When I stop at a cafe, I send them a text, hey, I'm at this cafe. I send a picture as I'm having a drink. I let them know what I'm doing throughout the day. I have no problem doing that. I don't see it as being them trying to be in my business or anything like that. It's just a safety precaution. I've never had to use it, thank goodness, in the well over 30 years I've been traveling. But it's always nice to know. It's always nice for them to know where you are because you just don't know what is going to happen. And life nowadays moves so fast and things happen. We're just living in crazy times. Look, you want to minimize the possibility of crazy on your trip. Tip number 6. There are 2 things for this one. You should download key apps for your destination, and you should also have some local currency. So the apps that you would want to have, Google Maps, City Mapper, any rideshare service that you are going to use. But you want to make sure, if you're leaving the country, you want to make sure of the apps that are necessary for your destination. So you have to do your due diligence to figure that out. I always stress to have local currency. I know a lot of people don't use cash nowadays, and there are a lot of places that are cashless. I can't list every country and the way that they use money, but from my experience, it has never done me wrong to have local currency on me. And I get the local currency if possible. I usually get my local currency before I leave for that country. But sometimes when you're going to smaller countries, you're not going to be able to get that currency. So then you need to bring enough of your cash. That way you can change it when you get into destination. And by having money on you, this saves you from having to scramble to try to find an ATM. So now we're at tip 7. Have backup options, always. In my experience, it is a very bad idea to only travel with one credit card. I have seen when people have done this, and then when things go wrong, and for whatever reason that credit card is no longer able to be used, then people get into a jam. So you want to have more than one credit card, and you should have a debit card. A debit card and a credit card are two different things. So you want to make sure that you have a credit card with a high enough limit, because you just don't know what is going to happen. There have been circumstances where I have been in where an unexpected charge came up or something happened and I didn't realize I had to pay for something. I don't give these tips lightly. So to save yourself any stress, have more than one credit card and have a debit card. Oh, and before you leave the country, make sure that you let your credit card company know or your bank know that you are traveling, because you don't want the bank to deny the charges. You should always keep your phone charged, and you should always carry a portable charger. A portable charger is very important, especially when you go into a foreign country, because your voltage is not going to be the same. Your plug isn't going to be the same. And you don't want to be looking around trying to find an outlet, even if you have an adapter. Just have a portable charger with you, and it just keeps it easy, so that way you can always be in contact with whoever you need to be in contact with. And this is something that I do. I took copies of all of my credit cards that I had in my wallet, front and back. I laminated that. I have a copy with me when I travel, and I also give copies to loved ones that are back home. Then I could take the necessary steps. And if by some chance, if I didn't have that paper with me, I could call my mom or my friends because they have the paper. Okay, last tip. No, 2 more. Tip number 8. You want to make sure that you register with STEP before you take any international travel. So STEP is the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's free for U.S. citizens, and it lets the U.S. government know where you are in case of emergency. You put in your information, so then they will know where you are, they'll have your number, and they'll be able to contact you if they need to, and they can give you further information and let you know about whatever crisis is going on and how they will be able to help you. This is really important when you're traveling solo. You don't want to have to try and figure things out if all of a sudden there's some national disaster in the country that you're in, or some severe weather, or a global pandemic. And the last thing, this isn't really a tip, but I'm just still going to say tip number 9. Safety is all about preparation, not panicking. You want to be as safe as possible, because traveling solo is wonderful. It's a beautiful thing. I encourage everyone to do it, but I also encourage you to be very safe about it. And when you take these steps, it helps you to be informed and prepared, and you can move through the world intentionally with very little fear. When you do these things, that can ensure that if something should happen, then you are prepared. And also making sure that you are doing things that aren't going to hinder your safety. These are things that I absolutely do. So in part 3, I am going to talk about the emotional side of solo travel. I'll probably pepper in a few more tips there too, because I've been using these tips for so long. I legit sometimes forget about the safety measures that I do. So when they come to me, I'll probably just say them in the middle of a video. But part 3 will be about confidence, eating alone, and how it may feel for you when you are traveling solo. I'm Ronnie, the Travel Guru. Thanks for watching.